Good evening. Welcome to a late night version of Diatribes from the Voice of Doom. And here's your petulant host once again trying to get through another episode of Diatribes from the Voice of Doom. And now here is the Voice of Doom. The announcer is getting flustered again. And I don't blame him because I'm getting a little flustered because I still don't see U-Haul trucks in front of the White House, and that's disconcerting. Because I know you can get them any time of day, and if they have to do it in the middle of the night, then that's the way things are sometimes. Sometimes people have to move away in the middle of the night. For whatever reasons, I don't know. But for this reason, I do know. So move. I'm giving you enough time. But while you're still sitting there, and if you're still halfway sentient or coherent, I'm going to do a little compare and contrast. But I don't want to forget, I have a little announcement about what day it is today, which I kind of missed, but it's close enough. 100 days until the conflagration. So I figured I'd throw that in there because now we can have a little countdown. If I was one of those big time media outlets that tell you the truth and are very articulate and make lots of money doing what I do way better, you would see the little square at the bottom saying 100 days, 99 days, 98. And then if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I'm not saying, a comet's going to strike or, it's over in 100 days. But the conflagration will either begin or be very apparent or be very close to coming. So I'm not going to box myself into something. But 100 days, I figure. And I might be a little bit generous because at the rate Petri dish is doing things completely wrong, 100 days is kind of generous. I'm going to try to explain why things are going to be really bad. As far as everybody's going to, a lot of people on one side are going to really be scrambling to try to explain it, and they're really going to do a lot of homework trying to piece this all together so they can blame that bad person that was in office that they had to get out so badly, doing a horrible job, and was a horrible person. And somehow they have to start figuring out what they're going to do, because you can hear it in their voice already. They're looking for any reason to say that this whole thing could have been averted if we hadn't made that deal in the first place. So I'm not going to get into that political weed, because anybody with half a brain knows what that's all about, and I don't want to try to convince the others because they're not capable of processing information. In April of 75, I was a junior in high school, and I was actually still trying to pass my courses because I still had things to get done. And high school in Hawaii in the 70s was really interesting. I told you a little bit about it during my racism screed. But more things about it were interesting because basically the way they had it all set up, and I was always wondering why all the seniors were drunk all the time, because it's like, why are you coming to school and you're all wasted? And they didn't say anything because they had their heads on their desk. And I found out that if you finish all your courses and get all your credits when you're a junior, and you've already taken your SATs and you've already been accepted to university, then you're pretty much done at the end of your junior year. And we all kind of started to realize that, and then we realized why the seniors were always drunk. And we weren't drunk all the time, because I hate going to school drunk. It's embarrassing. But we were stoned pretty much the whole senior year. But that's just a little interesting aside. But needless to say, between April 75 and January of 76, I wasn't exactly following the news closely. But I followed it well enough to go, wait a minute, Vietnam just took over. North Vietnam just rolled over South Vietnam in a matter of days. And actually, Cambodia was like one of the bottom stories. And it was happening at the exact same time. April of 75, Cambodia takes over, Phnom Penh, or the capital, Kampuchea. Whatever, they always change their names. But they took over the capital, and the madness started. Now, China provided 90% of the aid to the Khmer Rouge, which was the party that was radically communist. They really wanted to be communists. And I'll explain what they wanted to do. They wanted to start again, and they wanted to start with this genius goes, well, we have these tribal villages in our country, and they are self-sufficient because they just farm, and they feed themselves, and they live happy. So he said, let's all do that. So they proceed to empty the cities on a pretext of you're going to get bombed, because it's a good chance they would get bombed, because America was always bombing every place around there. And we had our role in why the Khmer Rouge got powerful, same the way Hitler did. Stupid things were done, and it gave people a reason to support something else. Didn't have to happen, but it did happen, and they wanted to go back to the Stone Age and start again. So they get rid of all the intelligent people, they get rid of all the, and I'm generalizing, I know a little more than that, so don't even start trying to say, it wasn't like that. They wanted to get rid of all the intelligent people and start again. They didn't want any signs of the past, the imperialist past. They were going to start again with the kids, and they killed a lot of people. Now, we don't even hear about it till Time magazine does like a article like in late 76 or January, yeah, by late 76, they might put an article in their paper and it shows a bunch of skulls stacked. And it's like, this is what they're doing in Cambodia right now, and it's really bad, and look at all these bones, and look at this. And you look at the pictures and go, well, that's really bad, but that's in Cambodia, and they really got fucked up over that whole thing, so I guess they're going to have to suffer the way they suffer. And it's not till like movies like Killing Fields come out that you realize, wait a minute. This was a major, major, major humanitarian fiasco and crime. And people did get killed and executed for that. And they ate each other, and it was a horrible thing, and I don't even know if they're out of the woods yet. They had a thing called autarky, which was self-sufficiency through agriculture, and that's it. We can grow rice, and we can feed everybody and make a lot of money, and you guys will live in your huts, and you'll be happy. It sounds kind of like you'll own nothing and like it. Well, is that what they said? You'll own nothing and be happy, whatever their thing is. There's a certain truth to it, yeah, but they're not going to do it. This thing is going nowhere. I just wanted to point out the contrast. They didn't have phones. They didn't have iPhones or smartphones. Now, in contrast, we have a humanitarian crisis, which is worse than the Khmer Rouge getting rid of all the people in the city. But we haven't gotten to the killing fields yet, and that's what I'm trying to avert right now. Everybody has phones. The atrocities are going to get out. We already know there's atrocities, and we just kind of shrug it off like, oh, well, interpreters are being dragged out of their homes and hung. Things happen. It's going to be like, no, it's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be, they won't be able to keep up with trying to ban it. There's going to be atrocities everywhere, on screen, live color, screaming and everything. That didn't happen in Cambodia. If there had been people with iPhones in Cambodia, maybe we would have averted a lot of stuff. But there weren't. So what I'm saying is when people see the atrocities, they're going to be aghast, and they're not going to know what to do. And they're going to want to blame certain people, as Vito Corleone said. But it'll be too late for that. It'll be like slapping a dog after they pooped 4, hour or days earlier. Just to compare and contrast, Cambodia has been weighing on my mind. I think there's more to say about that, but I can't think of it right now. But I think people should know about Cambodia, seriously know about it, because we're heading into something that's not good. These people are atrocious, and I'm using that in the proper way. And they can't allow humanitarian things on a grand scale, which we actually facilitated. We, as an American country entity, facilitated this thing. Cambodia, we had been long gone. Vietnam, we had been long gone. We didn't rush to help anybody. And then Vietnam goes up against Cambodia. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to tell you. China gave them 90% of their aid. And do you know what they did when they got into power? Killed all the ethnic Chinese, killed all the ethnic Thailand, killed the Buddhist monks and laity, killed the Muslim priests, killed the intellectuals, and killed anybody in the government or anybody involved in the previous system at all. Bureaucrats, all of them, killed. Nurses, doctors, killed. They kept a few on the side, probably those that said, I'm sympathetic to your cause, and okay, you're a doctor, but we'll let you live because we need some doctors. They weren't complete idiots. You don't take over a country by being stupid. But the movement was monstrous, and I don't want to see that happen again. I'm giving you guys fair warning that we got to do something. I'm not saying you have to do something. I'm saying we all have to stand up and say we're not going to let it happen, because 100 million people ain't nothing to shake your stick at. And I know we have other pressing problems about, trying to control microbes in the air that are all over the place. It's going to be a big project. So I wanted to get that thing in 100 days. We'll be seeing how it goes. I'll keep you, I'm not going to do a countdown. It's just going to be every, 10, or every time there's an auspicious number, then it's 50 days left, You'll know by the time, because there's going to be some bad things happening. Yeah, I have 2 minutes, and I wanted to talk about this. Be interesting to see how Petri Dish is going to celebrate, well, I won't say celebrate, but commemorate 9/11 now. It's really going to be interesting to see his speech, especially when things are going to be 50 times worse than they are now. It'll be really interesting. I'm going to be glued to my televisions, well, whatever I watch, to see how he squirms. He won't even know enough to squirm. He'll just think everything's fine. But there'll be squirming. And it's going to be interesting to see the 9/11 commemorations as the Taliban are celebrate. Oh my God, you just imagine what they're going to do on that day. And I'm not talking violence, I'm just talking rubbing it. I'm not going to go on because the imagery is sickening. And you'll all see it in exactly, what is it, the 25th? 6 days? Yeah, 17 days. You're going to see the entire radical Muslim terrorist world having something like the Olympic opening. And it's going to be quite humiliating. So we can at least look forward to that, if nothing else. But I'm sure there will be something else. I'm almost positive there will be. But they don't call me the voice of doom for nothing. I mean, when I say I'm the voice of doom, I think you've gotten the point by now. It's 60 episodes or something. I think you get it. Doom. So, good night. Enjoy. We'll make it. It's all right. Bye.